A soft spring sun poured golden light over the rooftops, setting the red brick dorms aglow with a honey-warm sheen. The whole town was beginning to stir. Mothers jogged past with strollers in tow, delivery trucks rumbled over cracked pavement, and cafe baristas flipped their open signs with bleary optimism. The world was waking. Everyone except the perfectly tangled pair of Lucas Hayes and Natalie Quinn. While daylight painted the sky outside, they remained buried beneath a comforter in a twin XL bed barely big enough for one. The dawn's first glow only made them cocoon tighter. Natalie's toes slipped between Lucas's ankles, and they giggled like kids hiding from Monday. The room still smelled faintly of her vanilla shampoo and the strawberry lotion she'd slathered on after her late-night shower. Tiny details that made Lucas smile into his pillow. He could still taste berries on her shoulder, still feel the echo of her laughter. They were knee-deep in that too-good, slightly dizzy honeymoon stage, where every hour apart felt like a flaw in the universe's programming. At exactly 7:05 a.m., Natalie's phone shattered the silence with, "Don't stop believin'." She silenced it with one annoyed swipe and grumbled something incoherent about, "First period bio lab can wait." There was no way she was leaving the world's most comfortable back hug this early. Her cheek pressed between Lucas's shoulder blades, and within seconds she was asleep again. Lucas's own alarm, decidedly less classic rock, buzzed like a responsible adult. He sat up slowly, watching Natalie's eyelashes flicker in a dream. He kissed the cowlick on the crown of her head and tiptoed out before the resident assistant's 7:30 rounds. Jogging across the quad with a stack of physics notes flapping under one arm, he still tasted strawberry lotion on his lips. Natalie finally rolled out of bed an hour later, ignoring 2 calls from the registrar's office. She threw on yesterday's leggings, slicked her damp hair into a bun, and Ubered to campus with coffee breath and no regrets. She texted her roommate, who had generously loaned them the bunk for a study session. "You're literally the MVP. Night equals flawless." Lucas, meanwhile, had plans. That weekend, he surprised her with a detour to Cedar Lake, armed with thrift store quilts, dollar store cupcakes, and a Bluetooth speaker loaded with their cheesiest playlist. Under the shade of a lonely oak tree, he knelt down, jeans stained, ring box trembling like dice in his hands. His voice cracked halfway through the question, "Will you marry me?" Natalie tackled him, sobbing, "Yes. Yes." Lipstick streaked his cheeks like war paint. 2 mornings later, they stood before a sleepy county clerk, inked their names on a marriage certificate that still smelled of fresh toner, and high-fived on the courthouse steps. The housing office granted them a married couple dorm, half the size of a shoebox but paradise in every way. No more stolen hallway sprints. No more borrowed keys. Life became an endless slumber party. 2 a.m. ramen, post-exam dance breaks, sticky notes on the mini fridge that said, "You've got this, genius." Senior year hit the gas. Lucas picked up extra shifts at the campus print shop, silk screening posters until 1 a.m., then cramming thermodynamics until sunrise. 8 straight weeks of this pace hollowed him out. Bloodshot eyes, vending machine dinners, and a slow, gnawing ache that Natalie's laughter seemed aimed more at her phone than him. She had changed majors mid-semester, found new friends, new inside jokes that no longer needed his punchlines. Every lost smile felt like a pulled thread in the quilt they'd stitched together. One Friday night, desperate to talk about anything other than thermodynamics or broken trust, Lucas ducked into Harbor Tap with his friends. But when he tried to vent, they exchanged loaded glances. Finally, his roommate Connor said it. "Dude, someone's been hanging around your room when you're working late." Hit like a sucker punch. On Saturday, Lucas kissed Natalie goodbye as if nothing was wrong, shut the door gently, and waited in the stairwell. 30 minutes later, a guy strutted up the hall like he owned the place. Jake Hollis. 6'2", sculpted jaw, designer sweatshirt. The kind of guy who probably had his own skincare routine and 3 side hustles. Lucas saw red. He kicked the door open. There they were, half undressed. Natalie's hair tangled in Jake's hand. "Get your hands off my wife," Lucas snarled. Then fists flew. The desk splintered. Textbooks scattered like startled pigeons. No words, just pure, blinding betrayal. By the time campus security banged on the door, both men were bleeding, breathless, and suspended. Monday morning, Lucas marched into the clerk's office and scrawled, "Irreconcilable," with a hand that shook but didn't stop. With diploma in hand, he funneled the heartbreak into hustle. He opened Hayes prints in his cousin's garage, printing wedding invitations, festival banners, Etsy art pieces. Orders exploded. 3 machines and a 6-color press later. His revenue outpaced his worst student loan nightmares. Clients loved his nerdy precision, midnight turnaround, and no BS attitude. Women noticed, too. One day, at a street market, he handed a foil-stamped business card to a tall brunette with a crisp bob and city polish. Claire Morgan, economics grad with small-town roots and big-city ambition. She bought a watercolor set of thank you cards and left with his number. Claire knew every espresso bar that met his vanilla soy no-foam standard. They slow-burned into something solid. They built spreadsheets and routines. Shared morning jogs and inside jokes about Pantone colors. Marriage number 2 felt calm. Sensible. Claire even negotiated business deals Lucas couldn't have dreamed of. Distribution contracts in cities he couldn't pronounce. Then one Thursday night a call. "Lucas, it's Jake Hollis. Hear me out, I've got an idea that could triple your reach." Asterisk asterisk. Claire urged him to take the meeting. Don't let the past kill a good opportunity. Lucas swallowed bile and agreed. The next night, he came home to find Jake lounging on their sectional, sipping wine like it was his living room. Claire's idea of diplomacy. Dinner was ice over porcelain. Jake bragged about yacht parties. Praised Claire's negotiation skills. Lucas wanted to snap every fork in half. Jake drank fast, too fast. By dessert his eyes were hazy. Claire insisted he crash in the guest room. Lucas's gut screamed no, but he nodded. Sometime past midnight, a noise in the hall. Claire crept out to check. Lucas followed, quietly. Then he heard it. Laugh. A whisper. "You okay?" Then silence, broken only by kissing. He opened the door. They were on each other like dry grass and flame. Rage drowned thought. He threw Jake, shirtless, into the rain and turned on Claire. She tried tears. Lucas handed her a suitcase. The divorce was fast. Claire took only what she was owed by law. No games. No delays. Lucas barricaded his heart behind invoices and ink rollers. Swore off vows. Swore off love. Until 16 months later. At a dog rescue fundraiser where he'd printed all the signs, a golden retriever pup slipped its leash and barreled straight into a volunteer. Lily Grant. Book editor. Lavender ink tattoo that read, "Choose joy." Lucas caught the dog. Lily thanked him with a laugh that cracked the walls around his heart. She never flinched at his messy past. Listened without judgment. Handed him ginger honey tea when the memories stung. Paid for tacos when he couldn't speak. Your heart's done enough heavy lifting. They married in a backyard lit with Edison bulbs and not a single fear. No grand vows. No promises they didn't mean. Just love. Real and steady. They had twin daughters. Hazel, who drew galaxies on his iPad, and Ruby, who showed magic tricks to every customer who walked in the shop. Lily knew his scars. She never tried to fix them. She just loved the man they made. Now, Lucas wakes before sunrise in a loft with skylights and coffee mugs that say, "Dad Boss." He kisses his wife, pours cereal for 2 girls in unicorn robes, and watches the city wake up the same way it did all those years ago. And he thinks, the third time isn't just the charm. It's the whole damn jackpot.